All right, welcome back to the 161 report. Whatever, 161 report. Why not?
Yeah. Sure.
161 report show. Whatever. I'm Bobby. That's Kyle. And as the World Series is starting tomorrow, we're recording on Thursday. Obviously, the Yankees aren't in it, but of course, because of how this team is, there's some news that we have to talk about, and too much news, I would say. Too
Yeah.
much drama.
A lot of negative news, Yankee fans would say. We'll start out with the big one. Aaron Boone will be back, right?
Yeah,
Yay.
I mean, we both expected this, I
Yeah.
would say. So I don't really it's not really phasing me either way. Um, but we expected it, but for them to come out or Steinbrenner to come out and say it basically immediately, um,
Yeah.
it's not a shock at all, really.
No, no, it's definitely not. It was more of a shock last year when they extended him 3 years. I was totally against it, still against it now. I'll probably always be against it. I mean, there's a lot of turmoil going on in Yankee land right now. There's obviously Boone coming back. There's no definite on Cashman quite yet, but we're kind of expecting the same. Well, at least I'm expecting one way that he'll be back. Um, but yeah, so we got Boone back at least for
Yeah,
another year, and
yeah,
at least so
we'll see.
yeah.
I do have to say, but before we dive into this other BS that we have to talk about in
Mhm.
Yankee land, um, I know that you're not against it, or you are against it, I should say, Boone coming back.
Mhm.
And I guess me too, in a way, but I don't think like Boone's nearly the biggest issue on this team. Like, I don't think him being back really affects the negative from this team.
No, I definitely agree with you. I'm not a Boone guy.
Yeah.
I never enjoyed this signing from the very beginning. Especially because we were moving on from such a well-respected manager that we had. I mean, Joe Girardi was a World Series winning coach, a manager. He took that 2017 team, which seemed like ages ago right
That was
now.
supposed to be the rebuild.
That was supposed to that wasn't just a rebuild. That team it completely exceeded expectations. And for Joe Girardi to be let go after one win away of reaching the ALCS in that year, and then you bring in a guy like Boone. So you mean to tell me like Girardi's performance was it was a fireable offense, but what Boone has done is not? That's my biggest issue with Boone. I obviously do not like him being back, but no, I do agree with you though. I don't think he's the biggest issue. I think he is up there, but I don't think he's the biggest issue.
Yeah. I, I mean, I think we had said it, or I had said it, last episode. It's, or I don't even know if I said, whatever. But
Mhm.
you there's only so much of the blame that you can put on Cashman, Boone instead of like the player. Or I'm sorry, there's only so much blame you could put on Boone when the players underperform year after year in the postseason when it matters. So I think like you kind of have to take a look back at I think Cashman's more to blame than Boone.
100%.
Yeah. So,
Especially, and that really opened my eyes this
mm,
past season.
yeah, because you look back obviously every single year. No World Series. Yes,
Mhm.
a couple ALCS appearances, which is good enough to like, oh, well, at least they made it to the ALCS, which we keep having to hear year after year. But I think you kind of have to look at it like, are we just going to keep switching managers until the players perform better? Because he's not the one that made, yes, the lineup changes every game probably had an effect in the ALCS, but he's not the one that had like didn't let Aaron Judge get more than 2 hits in the ALCS or whatever it is. Like everyone else other than Bader not hit, like he's not the reason for that. So
Yeah.
I think, of course, it's easy to blame the manager, but I don't think that he's the biggest problem at all. So I'm not like so upset that he's back, but could we have someone better there? Yes. But he's not. Hopefully the players figure it out.
Yeah, I definitely agree with your statement there. I liked how you're making a case for him, and I'm believing it. So, I mean, there is definitely some better options in my opinion.
Yeah,
Look what Texas did.
yeah,
I love that. I love that signing, by the way. Absolutely love it. And I can't get over it. But I think the biggest issue with this team is Cashman,
yeah.
in my opinion. Cashman has been with the Yankees in his role. Well, not in his role, but with the organization since 1986. I believe that's got to be up there with the longest GM in all of baseball. It's got
I
to
think
be.
it has to be the longest.
Yeah. So now, obviously, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. But my biggest issue that I've had, especially in the 2022 season, is the fact that obviously we don't know if Cashman had a limit because Hal, whatever. That's a whole different story with Hal Steinbrenner. But I mean, this shortstop class that we had this past offseason was enough to solidify this team. I mean, we had the pieces. We brought Rizzo back. I mean, and then we're building up the farm system. We obviously brought up some guys this year. They provided a spark, and I felt like we were missing one or two pieces. That's what I felt like. And I felt like we were missing that one big piece to put next to Judge. Now, don't get me wrong. Anthony Rizzo he had an outstanding year. And I love him on this team. He's such a great presence, but imagine slotting in a guy there like a I hate to say it, but Carlos Correa
Yeah, I was
or
gonna let you say it.
yeah, or like a Trevor Story, and I'm not saying like they had underwhelming years as well.
Hmm.
But when you bring in IKF and Josh Donaldson as your biggest offseason acquisition, that doesn't sit right with me. This team is by far the richest team in all of baseball, and you bring in Josh Donaldson and IKF, and then you get rid of Gio Urshela and Gary Sanchez in the offseason as well. Gary, I understood.
Yeah,
Gio was one of my favorites. I love Gio. And if you look at statistics, was he really that much worse than Josh Donaldson? I mean, I look at it this way. I'd much rather have Gio Urshela making $50 million less than what Josh Donaldson will be. And then you can spend that money on, I don't know, Aaron Judge, who is your big free agent this year. Or you could have spent it last season on a Carlos Correa or a Trevor Story or someone along those lines to pair up with your superstar, who
right.
you are now risking losing this season.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's it just seems so easy, but like you said, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. We don't know who really has the final say in these things, or who has the most say, I should say,
Yeah,
in the spending. Um, Speaking of Steinbrenner, did you see the viral video of George going around Twitter or wherever? It was like from him, I don't know how long ago, but it was him talking about like losers or whatever. And
I did. I loved it.
yeah, it's amazing.
I mean, I obviously was not alive for a
Like to
large
appreciate
part.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, a large part of George's legacy that he left on this team, but I hear about it enough. And there's this magical thing called YouTube that you can go and look at these teams that he assembled. He put up with absolutely zero BS. You look
Yeah.
at Billy Martin. How many times was he fired and rehired?
Like
And
10.
now you tell me that this 2004 BS that was played to hype up the players before game 4 of the ALCS this season, you think heads wouldn't have been shattered in that clubhouse if
Yeah,
George was still there.
yeah,
Because I'll tell you one thing, that whoever came up with that idea needs to be out, fired. Like that's I'm sorry, that didn't sit well with me. But
yeah.
um
I mean,
yeah.
me either, but I understand like the notion behind it. Like, oh, if they did it, you can too. It just didn't help that it was literally the Yankees that blew that lead. Like, I understand the notion of it
Yeah.
and being like the inspiration, I guess you could say. But like,
In my eyes, I understand it wasn't the same situation. Look at 2016. You have a perfect person to tell you all about coming back from a large lead. Look at Anthony Rizzo. He's our first baseman.
yeah,
The main issue I had with that entire situation, it was the Boston Red Sox.
yeah,
Why? That is your rival for years. The curse of the Bambino. I mean, just everything. You don't do that.
yeah,
And that made no sense to me.
yeah. I I don't know. I'm trying to forget about that, and because we have to deal with all this other crap that's going on with the
There's so
drama
much.
now.
It's like never ending.
Um,
So let's
which
yeah.
one? Which one? Which part are we diving into right now?
That's what I'm saying. Like it's never ending BS with this franchise as of late. So I mean, want to talk about Judge?
Yeah, I guess. I was gonna
Get
say
that
that
out of
too.
the way.
Yeah, so apparently, again, you don't know how true these reports are. This is the time of the year where either people say things just to say them, or they pretend that they have a connection to different camps, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Giants supposedly will not be outbid for Aaron Judge this winter.
Yeah. I've talked about this plenty of
Yeah,
times. That's the team I predicted mid-season for him to go to. I could see it very well happening. That's his hometown, you know. I mean, I I don't know whether I mean it's like you just said, it could be total BS of what we're hearing, and these reports could be fake, and hoping that it reaches the Yankees camp to
right.
drive up the price for Judge. It could have been put out there by his agent. You never know.
Yep,
Um, Now, obviously, the only one who knows anything is Aaron Judge.
right,
So we don't know if he truly still feels the same way he did in spring training when he said he wanted to be a Yankee, whatever it was. Um, but I truly believe he's just gonna go wherever he wants to get paid.
right.
And if these reports are true, then he's gonna be a giant. It's just a matter of when. But if he truly does feel that way of the whole Yankee culture and buying into that winning mentality and everything else, then I have no doubts he'll be back. But
Yeah,
it's tough. I don't know where he stands. Nobody does.
you know, I I think if the money's close-ish, like close, then if again, you said if his word is still there about the Yankees, then I think if it's the Yankee, then I think he might go to the Yankee, or maybe it's just wishful thinking.
Yeah.
But if he gets blown out, if the Giants offer him something stupid, then he's gonna go there, or whoever else offers him something stupid,
But
and he should.
if he gets offered something stupid, good
Yeah,
for Judge. I don't
exactly.
want it.
Yeah,
I don't want it as a Yankee fan. I'm sorry, but I'm not paying a 31-year-old
no.
what, 350, 400?
Yeah, no. I think, did you see that report? I mean, this is just, again, it's probably just someone who's doing it just to get talked about. So I'm not even going to look to see their name because they don't deserve it. But
Yeah.
they're doing it for us to talk about and other people to talk about. But someone said like he could get 500, which there was no chance in hell that he gets 500 million.
I definitely know the reporter who you're talking about,
Yes.
and I'm loving the fact that you didn't mention his name, and we're gonna keep it that way, as you know. But 500 million, yeah, that's not happening. The only player in Major League Baseball right now that I could see getting that money is Juan Soto.
Yeah.
It's the only one. Mike Trout didn't even get that kind of money.
Yeah. He didn't even get 450. He got like
Like,
420, I think.
yeah, and I completely agree that Aaron Judge should be paid.
Yeah.
He has been. a fantastic player ever since he came up.
Yeah.
He has driven himself into this perfect spot. He bet on himself, and now he completely 100% deserves to pay out. This is what he deserves. Whether that be by the Yankees or not, like, yeah, I'm going to be very sad to see him go. He was a homegrown Yankee. I want them to remain Yankees. Like Derek Jeter, when he was going through all his contract issues, we all wanted him to stay, but we all knew he was going to stay. We don't know about Aaron Judge. It's still up in the air, but um, the whole 500 million thing, yeah, there ain't no way in hell he's getting 500 million. I don't care what anybody says. He's
Yeah.
not getting that kind of money.
Yeah.
Like,
He's
I
not
mean,
getting, I don't even think he's getting four.
no,
I think like
I
350 max.
that's max. I mean, me personally, if I was the Yankees, I'd offer him, I'd, I'd say 290 to start, and then if he objects, which I'm sure he'll get over 300,
Yeah.
the highest you go is 310, in my opinion.
I think he's gonna get um I think whoever I mean, I guess we're just diving into this now. But
Yeah.
I think the numbers that I was thinking, I think a stupid team, again, the desperation of the Giants or whoever that is that wants him that bad, they're gonna go 9 years, I think. I think nine is like I think it's crazy. But I think that team is just gonna do it to guarantee that they get him.
Hey, if they want to guarantee him 9 years, 340, 350,
Yeah.
I don't care, whatever it is. If the Giants want to do it, if the Cubs want to do it, I'm hearing Boston rumors, and of course going across town. I
Yeah.
mean, with Steve Cohen, there ain't
That
no
would
telling.
suck.
It
That
would
would
suck,
suck.
but you know what? If he has to pay Judge 350 million over 9 years, so be it. I don't
Yeah.
want us doing that.
No.
I'm sorry. And Aaron Judge is a fantastic player. I'm not taking anything away from him,
Yeah.
but people forget he's 31 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, yeah, it's his first year of free agency, but the highest amount of years I'd go is 7, and 8 is really pushing it.
Hmm.
Like, I don't want to go 8, but if it's only like, I don't know, a difference of 15, 20 million, whatever it is, then do it, whatever. But if he's wanting 9 or 10, I mean, we see how these contracts pan out.
Yeah.
Look at Albert Pujols and what kind of absolute disaster the Angels are going through at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they have no money to sign Shohei. That's, yeah. But I mean, you got two generational talents, and the one you locked up for half a billion dollars. Like,
Yeah.
that's nuts. And now you got Shohei who's ready to be paid. I'm sorry, I don't want the Yankees in that situation,
No.
especially with a guy. I don't know. Aaron Judge is going to be putting up extremely good numbers probably for about, I don't know, 4 to 5 years now.
Yeah.
And then after that, those 4 to 5 years, he's going to become an average player, and then a below average player who's making, I don't know, 30 million a year,
Yeah.
36 million dollars a
Yeah.
year. What, to bat 220 and have 15 home runs on the year? Sorry, I don't want the Yankees to do that.
No. Real quick side question.
Mhm.
What is Judge hit 62 home runs this year? What's the highest number he reaches for the rest of his career in a single season?
I'm going to say early 50s.
I was gonna say like mid to high 40s. I don't think
Okay.
he hits 50 again.
Okay. I mean, now that's a very real possibility.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could see both. I was giving him kind of like the benefit of the doubt because I love Aaron Judge, and no
Oh
matter
yeah.
where he goes, I want him to succeed. I
Right.
want him to have a championship, whether that be with the Yankees or not, by the end of his career. But I mean, I I don't know, 53. That's what I say.
Okay. But yeah, no, I was just thinking that because obviously he's going to be one of, if not the highest paid player in baseball, or one
Mhm.
of up there, obviously.
Yeah.
At age 31,
Hmm.
like we're, I would say we both agree that he's not going to have this season again.
No,
So
there ain't no
you're
way.
you're paying him for this season, but he's never going to produce again. We could be wrong, but he's never going to produce like this again. So
Hmm.
like you have to think about it like that too.
I would be willing to bet my entire bank account, my entire life savings that he's never going to have this kind of season again.
You know.
Do I want him to? Of course I do,
Yeah.
but I don't ever see him putting up 60 bombs again,
No.
let alone shattering records left and right.
Yeah.
I
There's no
mean,
chance.
I'm I'm extremely thankful for what he's brought this city, this team,
Yeah.
and my excitement. I mean, he completely jolted new life into me as a Yankee fan in
Yeah.
20 when he came up 2016 and then 2017 he took off. He made me love the New York Yankees again. And ever since then I've been sucked in. And obviously I want, the best for him, but if he's a Yankee, I'm amazed. I'm great, whatever. But if he's not, I'll get over it. It's just how it is.
Yeah. I don't know. Um, yeah, so let's get into this other Yankee BS drama.
Yeah.
So, what do you call it? Andy Martino put
Hmm.
out a little, who knows what, a report that players are not happy, or more than one player has told his agent this week that playing at Yankee Stadium last weekend in the ALCS was an unusually brutal experience.
You played unusually brutal.
Yeah,
What do you want us to say?
yeah. And I just don't get it. I really
No.
don't. Because now, whether this is true or not, which it
Yeah.
could very well be not be true,
Yeah.
but it could also be true.
Hmm.
And this could kind of be like the media blaming the fans almost for their failures, which is
Yeah.
bullshit.
And it hurts. It
Yeah.
hurts because what we experience as fans, like people people tend to forget like this is a kid's game. And as we grow up, we pick one team and we let this one team run our entire lives. That's kind of like, at least that's how it is for me. Like the New York Yankees is more than just a baseball team. I've devoted so much of my time, my effort, my money, and what do we get? Backlash because we're not happy that we've lost 3 years. I'm sorry, 3 times in 6 years to the same team. And it seems like our upper management, as you stated earlier, is okay with just squeaking into the playoffs, having a piss poor performance, and then they'll be fine with it because they sold enough chicken buckets and revenue for the entire year to line their own pockets. That's what it's turned into. And for the fact that we're getting blasted for it is absolutely wild to me. And I'm not one who boos our own players. I don't do that. I don't like that. Like Aaron Judge, when he was getting booed in the ALCS, I thought it was ridiculous. I've
Yeah.
said it on here, and I'll continue to say it because the numbers that Aaron Judge put up, Anthony Rizzo said it himself. We would have single-handedly lost around 40 games if it wasn't for Aaron Judge being in the lineup. The, so I'm not one for booing my own players, but like, what do you expect? When you strike out 50 times in 4 games and you get swept to the same team that you haven't been able to get past over the last 6 years,
Yeah.
what do you expect us to be happy and say, oh, we'll get them next year?
Yeah. So like I don't I don't really boo that. Like I don't really boo whatever the Yankees either. I'm
Hmm.
not, as you can tell, we're probably like similar fans.
Yeah,
But like I kind of get like I get booing the players though. I
I do too.
completely understand it. Like I don't do it, but
Hmm.
if you like you had just said, we put in the time, and I'm not like throwing a pity party for Yankee
No,
fans,
no,
but we put in time literally almost watching every single game throughout a season, going
yeah,
to games, all that stuff. And for them to completely suck and like we have said multiple times, it was embarrassing watching them.
it was.
Like you can boo for a team underperforming, but I think at the games is okay to boo. Like I don't see a problem with it, but once you take it off the game, off of out of the stadium or like to the social media and do like personal shit like that,
Yeah,
that's like too far. But I
mhm.
don't mind booing. Like I think that's part of like the fandom.
It is. I mean, you feel so strongly about one freaking sports team that it comes natural. Like you feel like you want to boo, you have to boo because you want changes being made. Derek Jeter said it best. Yankee fans boo because they want to cheer. And for the fact that like people always say, Yankee fans are spoiled, whatever. Well, that's not, I mean, I inherited my Yankee fandom. I
Yeah.
mean, my dad was a huge Yankees fan, so for me, like that got passed down. It ain't my fault that the Yankees were the team who wanted to spend and win every year. It's different now, but we're expecting that old Yankee way. I mean, that's what we want. It's what we grew up with, and it's just that's just how
And
it is.
it's crazy though because it's not even I would say we're like almost the last generation that kind of grew up with it. Because even I mean we barely got it.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
we didn't appreciate the 90s or whatever.
We couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or yeah, we yeah. But like we really don't know what that was like. And it's
Mm-mm.
crazy that like we've actually watched only one World Series in our lives
Yeah.
to where we were like rem able to remember it.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just insane because we don't know anything else other than this, personally.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, and the thing is too, like that last World Series was 2009.
Yeah.
We haven't reached the World Series since 2009. I mean, it's wild to me. And to be honest, I was 9 years old when that World Series was going on. I remember a very small sliver
Yeah.
of that World Series. I remember, I mean, the most thing I remember from that World Series is Chase Utley absolutely annihilating us. And then fast forward to game 6, that was about it. I mean,
Yeah.
but I never like got to experience like we haven't gotten to experience like what it was like to, that dynasty and everything else. That's in the rear view to us. Like we don't remember any of it.
No.
So for us, it's just like, this is what we're getting used to. We're
Yeah.
used to this BS. And I think that's what people need to like kind of understand is like yeah, Yankee fans have been spoiled, but have we?
Right.
No. I mean, we're expecting them to get blown out in the ALCS by the same exact team every single year. Like
Yeah.
it's it's wild to me that Yankee fans are getting blamed for this entire thing because it's not. It's shouldn't should not be how it is, but that's just the way it
I
is.
don't know. Okay, so say hypothetically this report was accurate. Um, one, what was the exact wording on it?
It was that
More than one player.
yeah.
What players would say this in your head?
Um
Once you read that, who was the first guy you thought of that might say that?
Josh Donaldson was probably the first one that came to mind.
Yeah, that was one of
To
the
rattle
first that
off a few other ones, I mean maybe IKF, maybe Glaber, um Marwin
Glebe.
Gonzalez for some reason popped in my head. I mean, he's a former Red Sox and Astro. He was part of the whole cheating scandal, whatever it was.
What about
Um,
Hicks?
Hicks, I could, yeah,
Well, was
that I
Hicks
should have
there?
thought about that. Yeah, but he got injured.
Was he no in was he with the team though?
I believe so.
Like in
Yeah,
the ALCS? Maybe I don't know if he was.
it feels so long ago,
Yeah, I don't
man. It
remember.
really does.
But whatever.
Yeah,
I could
he
see
was.
Hicks.
I could see it. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's about it. I don't see like
Any
I don't
pitcher?
see.
I can't see any pitchers.
No, I don't think so. I mean, our rotate. Garrett Cole loves being a Yankee. As much as we do bash on him sometimes, he embraces the whole Yankee thing. So it ain't him.
Yeah,
I don't see it being Nestor. I don't see it being Sevy. Although Sevy's been weird lately.
yeah.
His comments have been really weirding me out.
As soon as you said Sevy, that made my
Yeah, I mean,
oh
I don't want to say Sevy because he was another one of those baby bombers. So I don't want to say Sevy. I love Severino.
yeah,
He was our ace before Garrett Cole. But anyway, I don't know. Sevy's like he's been
yeah.
really strange lately.
hmm
Could be Sevy.
I think
Um, Frankie.
maybe
I
just because he's new, he's like, "What is this?" There are fans like showing emotion. I
yeah.
never got that in Oakland.
Benintendi. I don't
Yeah,
know. I mean, he's never really come out and said like how he truly feels about being a Yankee just because of
I don't remember the last time I heard him talk, honestly.
me neither. I mean, all I know of him from mainly is the 2018 World Series, but
Yeah,
um yeah, it could be Benny. I mean, I don't know.
I,
This whole entire team is question marks. I mean, I don't know what to say.
yeah, I don't know either. It's ridiculous. But one last thing. Now, of course, he's going back on it, taking running back on his word, taking back his
Oh
words.
yeah.
Mariano Rivera
Mhm.
said, I have the exact quote. Well, supposedly the exact quote. Um, if I'm the owner, Aaron Boone wouldn't stay. When things don't come out the way we want them to, all of the fault goes on the manager, and somebody has to pay the price, and we won't put that on the players. And then now he's saying that was out of context. Wherever he had said that, I
Mhm.
don't know where that quote was exactly from,
Yeah.
but for Mariano, who kind of seems like he's never really saying in the media or saying
Mhm.
anything about the Yankees anymore,
Yeah.
that was kind of eye-opening.
It was. Um, we were blessed, and he's one of my all-time favorites because he was one of the last true Yankee legends that we got to experience and enjoy. Um, I will always listen to what Mariano has to say. He's the greatest closer this game has ever seen. We got to experience him, but he's correct on all levels. I mean, no matter if it's the player's fault, the manager's fault, the GM's fault, the owner's fault, the blame always gets put on the manager, no matter what. So, do I think Mo could have been saying, like, Aaron Boone should be fired because he's a terrible manager? No. But I think he's just saying, like, you guys just had a piss poor year. You need to have some changes. Fire the manager. He's the one who always gets blamed. So boot him first. I
Right.
think that's kind of what he was saying. I
Yeah.
don't think he was taking any shots at Boone
Because
because,
the headline, of course, was if I was the manager, I would get rid of Boone. And then it was nothing else.
well,
Like,
yeah, and of course the media will always twist words, especially in New York City, where you can get a big headline out of that and get your name known.
right,
But I don't think Mo meant anything like negative towards Boone per
right.
se. But I think it's just saying like you guys just had a terrible season and
Switch something. Yeah.
you need to do something because you keep losing to the same team in the same spot. So do something about it because this has all happened ever since Boone has been at the helm, except for Girardi's first year, 2017, whatever. But for the main part, we've experienced this recent heartbreak with Boone.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And Jeter had a turn two foundation thing, I guess it was last night. And of course they were asking Jeter, CC, Joe Torre even about stuff.
Yeah,
And they had asked Joe Torre about Boone too. And he was like, he said something along the lines of course the manager's the first one to get blamed for everything.
you would
And then he
know.
was like, yeah, exactly. That's what he was saying. He was like, remember how I remember how many death threats I used to get or something like that, or how many threats I used to get.
Yeah,
But I mean, that's just the territory that it comes with in managing New York and specifically the Yankees.
yeah.
And yeah, I don't know.
I mean, hey, I've been seeing it happening across town too. Buck
Yeah,
is getting a lot of hate, and Buck Showalter is like one of the game's uh best managers.
right.
So if he's getting hate, imagine the shit that's getting put on Boone. It's it just I mean, they're right. And this all comes a part of managing in New York.
Yeah.
And that goes for any
And
sports.
playing, I would say
And
too.
yeah, playing and managing and being anything with the New York sports teams, any sport, no matter what it is, that's what it comes with. You're playing in the biggest market in America.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
And
And
oh no.
yeah, yeah, then pretty much just the fault has to go on someone.
Right.
And for us, it's Boone.
Yeah. One more thing before we wrap it up. I don't know how much of it is the media, players, blah blah blah, whatever is going on right now at the Yankees.
Mhm.
Is the New York Yankees franchise a desirable place to play right now
No, not in my opinion.
for free agents?
Depending on what happens, I think depending on what happens with Aaron Judge is going to speak a lot of volume. The Yankees already once gave him a kind of underwhelming
Yeah,
contract offer. Um, but I think players are now starting to buy into the hate of the New York Yankees. And I also think like they're thinking if we come here, we we're gonna have a GM who doesn't want to spend a lot of money and kind of just fail in the same spot every year. I mean, do I think some players like still think, oh, I want to play for the New York Yankees? Of course
yeah.
I do.
Harrison
But
Bader being a prime example.
exactly. And look what it's done for him. But I think the only because like a lot of free agents in the past came here because they wanted to get paid.
Right.
Well,
And to
that's
get the
not,
exposure too, I would say, because
yeah.
like the big name, you're under the lights as a New
Mhm.
York Yankee
You are.
24/7.
Yeah.
And some people want that and some people don't. I think you just have to embrace it. If
Mhm.
you either choose to be in this situation or don't choose to be, you just have to embrace it and because that's the only way it's going to work out. Because the
Yeah.
second you go against the fans, media, whatever it is, you're done.
They're gonna eat you alive
Yeah.
with the Joey Gallo.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the dude and I hope the best for him, but like, look what happened to him.
Yeah.
It, but to answer your
Oh,
question,
yeah.
no, I don't think it's as desirable as what it used to be. Now, is it still for some players? Yeah, but I don't think for as many as what we wish and want.
Yeah. And it all goes back to it's just not the same New York Yankees. That's all it is.
Nope,
Yeah.
it is not. And I feel like, and I obviously don't want to get into it anymore because of we're going to be posting more videos about off season and stuff like that. But with how I think this off season is going to go, it's just we're going to be like, we're going to have to really like start embracing the whole fact that the New York Yankees are not going to be able to beat the Houston Astros for at least a couple of years.
Unless crazy things go down this offseason, which is doubtful, but
I don't have much faith in this front
oh,
office
yeah, no,
at
me
all.
either.
So no, I don't expect anything. I'm putting my low expectations completely lower than what it was last year, and that's saying a lot. Because I at least I had us getting Freeman, and that was it. I didn't expect, and what we got was absolutely abysmal. But whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, that's
Yeah,
it, I guess.
yeah,
And
we'll close it out there.
hopefully something good happens so we have something good to talk about.
Yeah,
But
we'll see.
I doubt it.
Yeah. Well, obviously, kind of like the calm before the storm here coming up. We got the World Series tomorrow. Enjoy it.
Yeah,
Uh,
go Phillies.
yeah, but once the World Series ends, it's gonna be ramping up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, let's go Phillies. All right, see ya.
Yeah.